Welcome back to World Traveler. This is Dennis Callan for the Hawaii Geographic Society, taking you into the heart of the Swiss Alps. Today's program is part of a series that we've been presenting on the Alps of Europe. We've shown you a little bit of the Italian Alps and the Austrian Alps. Now we're focusing on Switzerland as we leave Austria behind in our comfortable European train. This was photographed during our regular tour of the Alps that we conduct every summer with the Hawaii Geographic Society. And these trips are always open to the public, and we photograph them and bring them back to you as more episodes of World Traveler. We love to travel by train in Europe. Nothing beats it. It's comfortable, smooth, air-conditioned. Everybody gets to socialize. You'll meet some Europeans. You get a chance to have a meal on board if you wish. You can eat in deluxe comfort in the dining car. They have hot meals that they cook right in the kitchen, or you can have a light sandwich at the snack bar, or just a cup of coffee if you like. They serve a whole variety of beverages to wash down your meal. You might be traveling at midday, so you can have a big lunch, or in the evening have dinner. And what scenery! This is a room with a view. Restaurant on wheels, gliding through the heart of the Alps. You can also bring a picnic on board the train. You can carry your own sandwich and bottle of water or whatever. They don't mind. And sit at your seat, enjoy the Vista Dome effect. Trying to follow along on the map of where we're going. A map of the Alps. We're going deep into Switzerland in today's program. We'll be seeing lakes and glaciers and mountain peaks covered with snow. We'll be going up the highest aerial cable car in all of Europe. We'll also go up the highest open-air railway in Europe. Quite an adventure. We'll be doing some hiking in the mountains. You'll be able to watch the skiers in the summertime. So come along with us as the Hawaii Geographic Society visits the Swiss Alps. We'll be staying in two of the most convenient places for getting the most out of your visit to the Alps in today's program, starting in Interlaken, which is a great base for getting up into the Jungfrau and the Bernese Oberland and Lauterbrunnen Valley, as we'll take you there. Staying at a charming hotel in Interlaken. It's a great resort area. There's over 100 hotels that you can pick from, large and small, and little guest houses as well. And it's so convenient because the town is small. You can easily walk from one end to the other. There's 2 little train stations, and everything is in walking distance. So in just 10 or 15 minutes, you'll get from your hotel over to the train station, and that's the base for launching up into the mountains, as we're about to do after we have a quick look around town of Interlaken. We're going to go up one of the mountains, and then we'll come back down, see more of Interlaken in a little while, have a meal in one of the restaurants, show you a few more of the sights of this charming resort town. And then in the second part of today's program, we'll take you on to Zermatt, where you'll see the Matterhorn and other spectacular mountains. But hardly any sight can rival the beauty that you see from Interlaken, from the main road looking up towards the mountains, the Jungfrau, these hang gliders taking advantage of the open meadow that's right in the middle of town. And in the back you see the white peak of the Jungfrau looking over the clouds, one of the most spectacular of all the mountains of Europe. The parasail is like a cross between a parachute and a flying wing, and it's really taken over in popularity compared to the rigid hang glider with its stiff triangular frame. Paraglider is easier and cheaper, and it's relatively safe if you know what you're doing, especially when you're with a group. This team had a fun group jump. Or for the less active set, you can kick back on a bench, maybe put on your rollerblades if you like. All over Europe you'll find rollerbladers, bicycles. It's a peaceful town. There are cars here, and there's motorcycles and scooters, but it's very much a pedestrian-friendly place. Lots of little side streets and malls, specialty restaurants tucked away. Here's a vegetarian place that was quite delicious and healthy. The hotel we were staying at also has a full-service restaurant, open breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Hotel du Nord, right on the main street of Interlaken next to the meadow. Very popular hangout for locals, it turns out, as well. Next morning, we're up early to go conquer the mountains to the Interlaken East train station. We're going to catch a little train that's going to take us up into Lauterbrunnen Valley. You have a whole number of choices. You buy your ticket here. It's not cheap. To get to the top and back down again will cost you almost $100, but it's quite a day's adventure and it's well worth it. You go to Lauterbrunnen, change trains there, and on up to Kleine Scheidegg, change trains again, and then you go all the way up to the Jungfrau Joch, which at 11,300 feet is Europe's highest train station. Passing through these delightful meadows on the outskirts of Interlaken as we enter the Lauterbrunnen Valley. There's a number of alternative train rides that you can take on this day. In fact, we'll be showing you one of those alternatives where you go further up into Lauterbrunnen Valley, which, as you'll see, is a most spectacular place, kind of like Yosemite with bigger mountains. And that'll take you to the back of Lauterbrunnen, and then you go up a cable car to the top of the Schilthorn Mountain, which is another one of the most famous glaciers of the Alps, the Schilthorn. And that's where we're heading today, via Mürren and Gimmelwald. So come along for the ride and enjoy this beautiful scenic delight as we go up the Lauterbrunnen Valley, gliding along next to the Lütschine River, dotted with little chalets and a couple of villages along the way, until we get to the main village up here called Lauterbrunnen, where we get off this train, and at Lauterbrunnen it's a junction, so you have your choice. You can either go up to Grindelwald or you can go up around to Kleine Scheidegg, which is what part of our group is doing now on their way up to the top of the Jungfrau there. We've taken you there previously in other World Traveler episodes, so today we're going to do something different. We'll continue by public bus further up into Lauterbrunnen Valley, and there we'll catch the cable car that will take us to the top of the mountain at the Schilthorn. It's just a gorgeous sight, one of the deepest valleys with the most vertical walls in all of Switzerland. The bus ride only takes 12 minutes, so you're there in no time. Or you could stop along the way. There are several waterfalls that you can look at. This valley is surrounded by 72 different waterfalls. Some of them are quite famous. One of them you pay a little admission charge to go up through a tunnel in the rocks to have a look at. The public bus is a relatively cheap way to get around in Switzerland, especially for these little local runs. It's just a few dollars.